I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but I've been referred to as the clothing brand Jesus once or twice in my day. And I think that the reason for that is because when I make these videos, I go as deep as humanly possible into what makes a successful brand. And I've been running my own brand for the past 7 years, and probably the biggest contributing factor for any of the success that I've had running my own brand has been because of my background in psychology and philosophy, my deep dives that I've done personally into behavioral economics, consumer psychology, social psychology. And so what I want to do in this video is share with you off the cuff all of my just greatest thoughts that have really helped me grow my own brand as it relates to psychology, and just brain dump this onto you. This video is for the people who come back, who watch my channel all the time, who are big time followers of Apparel Success. Thank you so much for following this channel all of these years and being a part of this amazing community of clothing brand owners. So let's do this. What would Apparel Success be if it wasn't sponsored by my buds over at BrandCrowd? BrandCrowd's a logo maker tool. You type in the name of the logo that you want to have made, hit enter, thousands of logos will come up. You choose the logo that you like, then you can edit and refine that logo as long as you want for free until it's perfect. This is a Hundo P design I made for my own clothing brand using BrandCrowd. If you're interested, head over to brandcrowd.com/apparel success and you can get up to 66% off at checkout. So something that I'm really proud of that I brought to this clothing brand space that I can honestly say I haven't seen anywhere else online is this idea that there are 4 main reasons that people buy clothing. And when you get clear on which of these reasons or which of all these 4 of these reasons are why somebody would want to buy your clothing brand, this will help you understand the value that your clothing brand is delivering. And the way that I came up with this and the way that I just discovered this was because I was actually reading an article on behavioral economics that was about the 9 reasons why people buy products in general. There's 9 forms of value that people get out of products. And I discovered through reading these 9 forms of value that only 4 of them apply to the clothing brand space. The 4 of them that apply to the clothing brand space are, number 1, emotional appeal. So people will buy clothing because it's emotionally appealing. Number 2 is the aesthetic appeal, like the aesthetic of the design of the clothing that you're wearing. People will buy it for that reason and they'll see the value in that alone. The status, the elevation of status that particular item will get you, like if you're buying a Rolex or if you're buying Gucci, it'll elevate your status because of the price point. And when you set the price point super high on all of your products, there's an automatic filtering that takes place of people of a certain socioeconomic status. So people will buy clothing because of the status that it gives them amongst their peers. And the 4th one would be the utility value that people are getting in the clothing itself. Like if you're going skiing, if you're going snowboarding, maybe your jacket is particularly made for conditions of minus 30 degrees Celsius or super cold conditions where it has a pocket to hold your ski pass and it's got that utility value. One thing that I've noticed though is that even though I've mentioned these 4 different reasons why people buy clothing and how important this is for you to understand which of these is working in your clothing brand's favor, I haven't really gone particularly deep into any of them, and so I figured I would do that in this video. So let's talk about emotion. The first way that your clothing brand can offer value to your customer is through connecting with emotion. So you're creating a channel for people to experience an emotion. And what's super interesting about this is that that's the surface layer. What you're really doing underneath the surface psychologically is you're tapping into people's desire for connection. Everybody wants to be a part of a tribe. We all have this wired within us. The reason for that is because in a state of nature, if we are not a part of a tribe, we are potentially going to die. We don't have anybody to take care of us or to protect us or for us to protect, and it's just a bad situation altogether. So we have this innate desire to be a part of a tribe. And when you're connecting with somebody emotionally, you're basically allowing them to connect with that tribe. You're allowing them to connect with that particular identity, with that group of people. And it's basically this sense, this feeling like they're joining a particular group. They're joining your movement and they're a part of, a community of people. So when we talk about injecting emotion into your brand, which you can do through marketing campaigns, through designs, through the expressions of your designs, and through your brand concept. What you're trying to do here is you are trying to connect with somebody's sense of being a part of a community. So this is why the best lifestyle brands, the best emotional brands like mine, that's built on being patriotic for Canada, for rural Canada, for being super Canadian and identifying with being a part of the tribe of being Canadian. This is why it works so well. It's because they want to associate with being that particular person, and they can share that and express that outwardly to people within their own tribe and people within other tribes. Like if they go to the States, now people from the States are like, oh, you're Canadian because you wear that brand. Oh yeah, I'm Canadian. And then you start resonating with the fact that you're Canadian. And this is why the stronger the emotion sometimes in brands, like if you're going LGBTQ, if you're going, I don't know, super patriotic, if you're going religious, that the stronger the emotion is, the more polarizing it is, the more like of an energy it tends to have against it, and the more it tends to work. The more people will tend to get this feeling from your brand that they just can't resist and they can't unsee, they can't unfeel. And on the contrary, if your brand is just sort of like a basic generic brand that's not really connecting with any particular identity, not really connecting really strongly in that way, then you're gonna have to really offer value in one of the three other ways that I talked about here, because emotion is one of those really, really strong and powerful reasons why people buy clothing. And even if we think about the second way that your clothing brand can offer value, which would be through the aesthetic appeal, through the shape of the clothing, and through the design of the clothing, it always comes back to what is the customer's identity? Like, who are they and who do they want to be? What do they want to look like? Like, there's this huge trend of drop cut t-shirts and split hem t-shirts that kind of have like this like really like slick look. And it's because a lot of people, like, they want to look cool, they want to look hip, they want to look trendy. So if you're creating a brand, like, how can you create clothing that's going to make people look really cool, look really sick in that particular trend, and really mesh with that identity that they're going for? And it doesn't matter if you're doing this through emotion, through aesthetic appeal, through status. It's all coming back to their customer's identity. Who do they want to be and what do they want to associate with? This is the most fundamental part of your clothing brand success, is just getting in touch with your customer's identity. Who do they want to be? What do they want to look like? And what is really going to help them achieve that? What's going to help them achieve their desired outcome of looking and being a certain way socially, like outwardly to the world? Because it is kind of, if you really think about it, with a lot of brands, all wrapped up in our ego. Like, even people who tend to wear Bass Pro Shops and all of these brands like Patagonia that are supposed to be super authentic, and where you're not trying to wear Gucci and all this stuff, you're trying to satisfy your ego of still trying to be that identity of, I'm the Patagonia like guy who does hiking and stuff. I'm not a part of that. It's still an ego thing. It's still a giant ego trip to wear Bass Pro Shops and be Mr. Authentic, because then at least you're Mr. Authentic. Like, there's always that little reason why people want to wear what they wear, and the clearer that you get on that, obviously the better your results are going to be. And the fourth reason being the utility of the clothing that you're selling. That might be the most purest form of innovation that you could make in the clothing brand space. Like, if you're coming out with a jacket that has a brand new pocket, or that outperforms the other brands just purely in utility value, and it's not about the brand, but it's just like, that jacket's going to keep me warm when I go on my trip to Alaska, or that hat's going to prevent my head from getting sunburnt if I wear it at the beach, then that is probably like the most purest form of value that you can offer as a clothing brand. And I hope that this video allows you to get even clearer than you may have already been in terms of the value that you're offering for your own brand. And I really hope that you enjoyed it. I spent a full month recording a 100% free clothing brand course for anybody starting up a clothing brand right now. All you have to do to get access is go to freeclothingcourse.com. You can go through it at your own pace, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.